What's going on? My name's Gavin McIntyre. Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things you can do to put yourself onto the most optimal timeline right now. Let's get into it. So right now on the planet, it is a huge opportunity to put yourself onto your most optimal timeline, okay? So what is an optimal timeline? An optimal timeline is a version of yourself that is experiencing the highest, most abundant full life that you could be living, you know, and you can imagine what that's like, of course. That is a parallel reality version of yourself, essentially. And so it is very easy, kinda, as easy as you make it, to put yourself onto your most optimal timeline. Everyone has this ability. It is very easy. There's no crazy, complicated concepts or anything to it. Hopping onto your optimal timeline is actually pretty simple, and right now is the easiest time to do it. So if you're watching this video, go ahead and try these 5 steps out if you'd like to, during or after or when it is convenient for yourself. And all right, let's start talking about step number 1. And this is extremely important. Number 1 is that's why it's number 1. Is internal awareness and focus. So, internal awareness and focus essentially means bringing the awareness, bringing the focus, bringing the attention back into yourself. A lot of times throughout the day, we tend to sacrifice our energy and we sacrifice our focus. Wow, that just moved the camera. We sacrifice our energy and focus in areas that we're not passionate about, that we don't enjoy. And it leads to a lot of mental suffering, essentially, due to us not paying attention to our own needs, and it's commonly referred to as being selfish or overly sensitive in your own way. But bringing the awareness or focus into yourself is extremely important, because it is the key essential part to maneuvering your life, is being present within yourself. And so one easy way you can do this is by looking into a candle, or looking into a light, or looking at a certain object. And then you'll start to notice, if you sit down and you look at an object, such as a candle flame, you'll notice that your attention and your focus starts to drift off and go different areas, to start thinking about different things. Well, the more you practice this, maybe 5 minutes, 30 seconds each day, you'll start to be able to bring the awareness back into your body, because you'll start to focus on the presence of your awareness of yourself. And that is flipping the cameras back onto you, essentially. Instead of exerting your focus and awareness in areas that you're not passionate about, that you don't enjoy, realistically, come on, be honest with yourself, you probably don't enjoy most of the things that you're putting your awareness and focus into. Instead, bring that awareness and focus back into yourself. Step 2 is positive perspective. So once you have the awareness within yourself, you need to start affirming yourself. Start giving yourself a positive perspective. So when we're dealing with timelines, when we're dealing with trying to put you onto your most optimal timeline, you need to have a positive perspective. So the law of attraction states that which you think, feel, and do is constantly being reflected back to you. So having a positive perspective is going to bring you the most positive outcome, the most optimal outcome. Now, likewise, if you are having a very negative perspective, then that perspective is also going to be attracted into your life. It is the law of attraction. It is whatever your perspective is, that the vibration is going to be reflected back to you. So now that you are focused in on yourself, you are attaining a positive perspective, because it may be difficult to let go of a certain situation, but for the sake of being here and for the sake of this, go ahead, and even if you're on your own later on, go ahead and just have a positive attitude. It's okay. You don't need some kind of, proof or material item to validate your internal happiness. It's okay. Just be happy for a couple minutes. It's okay. It lightens up the mood and it makes the process way easier. Next, we're going to feel and tune into your optimal timeline. So imagine right now, what is that version of yourself? And also, real quick, for step number 2, believe it's possible, because it is possible. Sharing this with you because I did it myself. It works. Thousands of people do this. Everyone's actually doing this subconsciously. They just haven't become aware of it consciously. So believe in yourself. It's okay. Trust me. I know it may seem hard. That thing in your head may be saying, "Oh, you really believe in this crap?" Push it aside for the sake of now. Now, feel and tune in. Step number 3, feeling and tuning in. So right now, go ahead and imagine, what is it like to be living that most optimal version of yourself? What does that feel like? What does that actually feel like? You're going to want to imagine what you're wearing, what you're doing. What does the feeling feel like? And tune into it. You're going to want to feel it. Just like maybe right now you may be feeling neutral while watching this video, maybe feeling curious, you may have a certain feeling, right? Because you become aware of yourself, you can then use that awareness, that situation that you're in, and tune into what you would rather be feeling. What would you prefer to experience? And so, step number 4, when we're doing this, when we're tuning in, letting go, when we're tuning in to our dream lifestyle, to our optimal timeline, what happens, what tends to happen, and what keeps people blocked is they can't let go. People expect something new while repeating a same process. So when we're dealing with putting yourself onto your most optimal timeline, you have to be aware that you need to let go of that old version of you, right? Because that's not the most optimal version of you. And so some things you may have troubles with letting go, or some things that may be brought into your awareness when you're dealing with letting go of your old self and allowing your new self to come in, is things like old habits, maybe relationships, a job that you don't prefer, and it could be small things as well. It could totally be like this. Something small that you let go for whatever reason it is for you that you're holding on to. It could be a belief system. You believe yourself to be this way. You believe yourself to be that way. Let it go. Let it go. And that could be that is as easy as you make it, essentially. Letting go is as easy as you make it. Letting go is easy because if you become aware, if you really ask yourself, does this serve me now? It has probably served you in the past, and that is why you acquired that hobby, job, this or that. But does it serve you now? If the answer is no, you can let it go. Because that feeling is going to be amplified when there's nothing there to block it. When you've taken your blocks away, you can then really hold on to that vibration, that optimization of who you want to be or who you are desiring to become. Next, final step, make the switch. This is your time to shine. This is your decision. Now, this is obviously the end step, and you must go through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in order to make that one happen. But making the switch is deciding that you are going to be this version of yourself no matter what, because it is you. The most optimal version of yourself is who you actually are. Your true identity, your highest version of yourself. The version of yourself that takes good care of your body. The version of yourself that adds value to others. The version of yourself that does what he or she is passionate about all day. Or maybe not all day, right? But you get the gist. You're doing what you enjoy on a daily basis, and it's being reflected back to you. And so when you make the switch, you're deciding, hey, I'm not necessarily fond of the situation I'm in at the moment. And it's up to me to make that decision to choose that which I desire. And these steps right here, feeling and positive perspectives, that's the juicy part, because that's before you even make the switch. You're already feeling that which you desire. So making the switch is like a piece of cake. It should be, as long as you are able to let go. Let go and let in that which you truly desire. That could be commonly referred to as the law of subtraction. The law of subtraction is the more you let go, the more you let in. And the reason being, and you can take this in, this is just a physical, metaphorical example, is if you have a bunch of clothes in your closet and you want new clothes, we're going to have to take those old clothes out in order to make room for new clothes. This is the same thing. If you have a belief system that's telling you you aren't worthy, you don't make this amount of money, you don't do this, you don't do that, if you actually believe that, then that's going to be true. So the key is to let go of that, to allow a new belief system and a new hobby, a new passion that will then change your life. And you can practice this as well. This is all very relevant to what you desire. It's just becoming aware. And going through these steps, this can take 5 minutes, 5 hours. It's all up to you. It depends on how bad you want it. And don't stress yourself out too hard. One of the things I did was I stressed myself out too hard. I took this stuff way too seriously, overcomplicated it, and elongated the process. So this right here is how I essentially can turn 1 year's worth of work and struggles and meditations into very simple, very easy things to understand that can put you into an optimal timeline. So 2022, we are heading into a new year. It is I recommend that if you're watching this video that you do try this. And if you see no results at first, please don't sweat it. Go ahead and try again. All right, there's nothing wrong, right? Those are beliefs and things like that. So 2022 is a huge time on the planet of transformation. The timelines are currently splitting between positive and negative. Now, this doesn't mean that anything like disastrous or anything of the nature is going to necessarily happen. It's all about you and choosing who you want to be. And it is going to bring a lot more momentum if you can make the decision now. Right now, in the now. Because there's no future or past, it's just right now. If you can make that decision right now, then you have a much more optimal chance of experiencing your dream lifestyle in full-fledged effect all through the duration of 2022. And it will not end there. It will keep going. And what you will experience if you take these into account is more money, better relationships, better mental health. Mental health is number one. And it goes on from there. And so one thing that's also important that I will mention is that a lot of us tend to think that we want something that we don't actually want, right? So for me, growing up, I wanted to be a Marine. That was like my thing. I was, ever since I was a little kid, that's all I wanted to do is be a Marine. And I had my eyes set on it. That's what I wanted. And I didn't realize this, but the only reason why I actually wanted to be a Marine was because I got bullied as a kid. And so I wanted to have a label or have an ego that says, hey, I am this, so I can gain that respect back. That was a trauma response. And it wasn't actually what I desired, but I was creating a whole life out of it, right? So a lot of the things that you want to attain, maybe a certain job, a certain this or that, double check with yourself. Is it what you're truly passionate about? Do you see yourself being super happy doing that, whatever it is? Because I know I wasn't. And so I had to be honest with myself. And honestly, it was hard to let go of that because it was my whole life. I was telling everyone I was going to be a Marine. I mean, come on. And so it was pretty hard for me to let go of that and step into who I really was, who I truly am, as a multidimensional spiritual being having this temporary human experience during this grand awakening on the planet. So I hope that has helped you. This is a sort of spontaneous, sort of planned video. I think it is super important because a lot of this stuff is coming up into your reality right now. Things such as the metaverse, Spider-Man multiverse. I actually just watched that movie. It's a great movie. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's so cool. But yeah, so this is going to be my new kind of recording area. I post daily on Instagram. I'm going to start be posting daily on Instagram. This video is going to be released on Wednesday. Sorry, I'm recording this today. It is Monday today. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. Check me out. Hit me up. Any questions, anything at all, I'm always available. I love to chat. This is what I'm passionate about. Yeah, my main intention with this whole video is to cut some time for you because I know everyone just wants the answers. Everyone wants the answers. These are the answers. It's one of many, but very optimal. Peace and love. See you in the next one.